Well, I hope you've seen that it's a really simple matter by just dragging and dropping to lay out the planting scheme. But at this stage, it's a concept plan, isn't it? We've played with different arrangements in the garden spaces, and what we'd want to do now is to get some feedback from the client. We haven't established our species list or done any detailed text information or whatever. We're interested in getting some feedback from the client at this stage. Now, many clients find it quite difficult to interpret 2D plans, and gCADPlus gives you the opportunity, if the client is willing to pay for it and you can fit it into the budget, with producing a 3D view by exporting the base information, which is now accurate and full size, into 3D modeling software. The software we favour is one called SketchUp, and what we're going to do now is to export that base geometry to SketchUp. So we've provided a tool to do that and make SketchUp layers, and we are asked to select the entities that we want to move to the SketchUp layer. We don't have to bother by picking any of the hatching or any images here or any plant symbols. What parts of the drawing are we interested in to build a 3D model? So we want the paths, and gets slightly tedious but relatively easy to do. We want the tanks, we want these garden bed areas. Well, in fact, to save a little time, rather than worry about, need to zoom in so that I can pick those, rather than worry about all of the garden bed areas, we won't bother selecting all of them, but we will pick those and those. We'll have our planter boxes, and you can see now it would have been much easier and more sensible to have made those an individual block. So we're not selecting any of the symbols, just the hard elements in the design. And the more we make those into blocks and symbols, the easier this selection process would be. We could even group all of these slabs that are going to sit inside the ornamental pond. We will need our water rill, and I'm just checking now to see whether we've got all of the information that we want to move to the service area through here. We might want to select it as well, and these can represent recycling bins. So I think now if we step back, we've got all of the elements in the design that we need. So we've selected them, we hit the enter key, and the prompt down in the command area says, would you like all of the plant names that are in the schedule transferred to a layer? Well, I haven't done a schedule here, so I'll say no and hit the enter key. Now what's happened is that everything's been stripped away, and we are in a position now, just those elements that we selected are ready for moving into the SketchUp environment. There's a simple way to do it. So in a sense, we've filtered the drawing, haven't we? We just have the key elements for a base for a 3D drawing. So we now just select those elements and right click and copy to the clipboard. Those elements have been put on their own layer, and maybe we can now just check that. You can see all the layers have been turned off other than a SketchUp layer and a SketchUp text layer, which we haven't needed in this particular instance. If we'd gone further and done a planting schedule, all the names of the plants would go onto that SketchUp text. But at the moment I'm interested in just giving the client a feel for the 3D space that we've designed. So I've copied all of this to the clipboard, and in a moment I'm going to switch to a brand new drawing and paste those in. But just before I do that, I want to show you that if we click on the Layers tab and go here to All Used Layers and say all the used layers I want visibility on, we can do that, and all the information that was previously hidden now comes back. So I'll just save my drawing at this stage, and I'll make a brand new drawing based on the default drawing, and I'll right click and paste from the clipboard, and I'll make it insertion point of 0, 0, zoom extents, and then I'll go File and Save As. Now at this point, click on the Save As type and save the drawing as a DWG or DXF. They are the formats that will be incorporated or can be incorporated and just loaded straight into the SketchUp environment. We'll have more to say about SketchUp and show you how it all works in the next module, but I wanted to run through this is how you get the information out. Seems a little bit clumsy, but we've decided we don't want to automate things too much. We'd rather you select the bits that you want to move across to work as a base in SketchUp. And it presumes, of course, that you know how to use SketchUp. And we do have some online materials to help you learn SketchUp, and we assume that that's the module or the tool that you want to use to create 3D drawings. So to sum up, we just select the bits that we want, copy them into a new drawing and save it as a DWG. You might ask, well, why don't you just save a copy of the drawing with all the symbols in DWG format? Yes, you can do that, but you'll find when you're working in SketchUp that, say if you're in this area here, all those symbols and the overhanging canopies get in the way of building 3D geometry in the SketchUp environment. So I hope that rather long movie helped understand how we go about moving information from gCADPlus into the SketchUp environment.